All right. Hey YouTube, I'm Lucky, and I have a very exciting news story to cover today. Bungie has actually revealed the champion mods for Season 15, and it's very important to know what these mods are because when it comes to Grandmasters, which is one of the most difficult activities, you absolutely have to use the proper champion mods on almost everyone on your fire team. And when you spec out things for the champion mods, you want to use the strongest weapons for those mods, and Bungie has actually introduced some new ones that we've never seen before, which is always exciting and always fun. And I love how these champion mods really mix up the sandbox quite a bit because usually we get sort of stuck into what is the strongest loadout and we just stick to that regardless of any activity or encounter. But with these champion mods, it really mixes things up quite a bit. So the first thing they did a few days ago, they tweeted out this saying, if this gets 7,777 likes, we'll reveal the season of the redacted champion mods early. So we don't quite know the season name yet. It may be leaked out there, but as far as I know, we don't know the name of the season yet. Obviously, season 15 is what I'll call it for this video's sake. And it took us 5 minutes, and we got 7,777 likes. We should have went for 77,000, they said, which is funny. It's right out around 47,000 right now. So if they did go for 77,000, they might not have made it. But that remains to be seen at this point in time. So after that, we've got a tweet just earlier today, which shows these 5 mods right here. So first up, we've got anti-barrier auto rifle. Now for this is historically like the faster the fire rate, the better. You get things like chroma rush. The 720s do really, really well with this. One actually really fun mod that you can use with this, and it's like kind of off meta, not a lot of people use it, is like Sweet Business is actually really, really good for this. Sweet Business on a Titan with Actium War Rig is a really strong build, and something I like to use every now and again if I'm trying to be silly and have some fun when I do some PvE activities. Next up, it actually shows Unstoppable Linear Fusion Rifle and Fusion Rifle. So combined, it's a 6 mod, so it costs quite a bit, but that is a pretty cool mod. We've never seen that before, or at least as far as I know. I don't think I've seen anything like that. It's been quite a few seasons we've been doing these, so let me know if I'm wrong. But definitely really exciting to see that get brought in here. And the Sleeper Simulant, could you imagine the Sleeper being put in here? Oh my goodness, there's a few other weapons that come to mind. Let me know in the comments down below what weapon you would use for Unstoppable Linear Fusion or Unstoppable Fusion Rifle. I'm just thinking in my head like, damn, Sleeper Simulant, that's going to be crazy. That'd be a lot of fun to bust out and take out some champions with that. Next up, we have Overload Bow, which we've had before and is definitely really strong. I know people don't particularly like bows, but Overload Bow is actually super strong, and it's really effective because you can keep your distance against those Overload champions, which are some of the most lethal and most difficult champions to deal with, especially like Overload captains. So I personally like Overload Bow, like to keep the distance. And then with that, we also have Unstoppable Pulse Rifle, which I don't know if we've had before. I feel like we have not had a Pulse Rifle mod before, but I could be wrong. Definitely a few options that come up with that. Outbreak Perfected, maybe even a few different good Pulse Rifles could be used. Any Legendary Pulse Rifle, of course. And then we have Unstoppable Sidearm, which is probably the weakest of all 5 of these options. As someone myself, I do Grandmasters regularly, and I like the Grandmaster activity. That's probably the weakest of the sidearm options. And then the last one, they actually did mention a hint at an Overload Sword mod. They tweeted out replying to this saying, oh, did we forget one? They say the pen is mightier, but in this case, we got overloaded. See you on August 24th. So they're obviously referencing a quote, which is the pen is mightier than the sword. And then they even use the word overloaded, so not being very subtle about that one, I'd say, which would mean Overload Sword. And there's actually a few cool options that would come with Overload Sword. Initially, you might think to yourself, Lament, right? But unfortunately, Lament has anti-barrier mod on it. So if an exotic has a certain anti-champion mod on it, it can't be used with any other mod slot, unfortunately. So, like for example, with Ariana's Vow is anti-barrier. You can't combine it with Overload hand cannons. So I would assume, unless Bungie changes something, I would assume that that would mean you can't use the Lament for both Overload and anti-barrier. So that's big sad. But there's still like the Falling Guillotine and stuff. I mean, and if you wanted to, you know, play it safe, which is what you probably don't want to get into someone's face with a sword right into a champion's face, because even though you can stun them, they could probably, they're going to one-shot you as well. So something like Black Talon might actually not be half bad for something like this. So that's definitely another viable option for next season's Champions mods. I'm definitely excited to see how the sandbox gets shifted. Let me know, out of all these mods here, which one are you most excited for? I'm definitely looking to be reading your responses down below. And if you want to stay up to date on all the news in Destiny 2, make sure to subscribe with notifications on, smash the like button, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Later.